All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee, and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Shalom. First, I'll give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Shem Yahushai, by Shem Kadash, the Barnstead Apostles and Elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are there in the truth and in sincerity, and the women and children who follow. So that was Obadiah chapter 1, verse 7, speaking on the allies of America becoming just the opposite of that, becoming enemies. Says the men of that confederacy have brought them even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. Okay, so there's friction between these one-time partners, these one-time friends. And we know that the United States and Babylon has a written agreement with the United Nations, with NATO, with the EU. They're all in a pact together. They're bound that if any one of these countries go to war, that they all go to war. So by the prophecy, we understand that this pact is going to be, what's the best word? Interrupted or dissolved, disinvalued, if that's a word. It's going to ravel apart. So I got an article today from RT News. Okay, it says, "Forget who I, U.S. spying on Denmark shows the real threat for European countries comes from Washington." Okay, so if you don't know what Huawei is, it's basically a Chinese like technology firm. You know, they do a lot with like phones and just modern day tech. But it says that the U.S. is spying on Denmark, one of its allies, part of its confederacy, if you will. So what does that say to all the other countries, all the other members of this confederacy? It says you can't trust the U.S. If they'll spy on their allies, on that ally, on that partner, then what will it do to me? The same or even worse. So we're gonna get into this a little bit. I'm also go back into the scripture this more. I wanted to break down with that, but so yeah, before we go into this, I'm gonna go back to that. It says, "The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee." So since World War II, we've had NATO and all these countries, which are mainly European countries, the United States, Canada, and a few other countries sprinkled around the world. They've been in a coalition together, and they've prospered. That's what that that ate their bread with thee. They eat thy bread with thee. You know, they ate together. They prospered together. Or when you with your friends, what do? You guys eat. You know, you either go out to eat, or when even at camp, you know, what we eating. You know, that's always how it goes. So that eating that bread is showing that camaraderie. All right, you guys were comrades. You were friends. You were business partners. You had great dealings with each other. But it says now they had laid a wound under thee. So it was all good just a week ago. Now they're laying a wound in you. They're hurting you. They have malice intent towards you because of the fuck shit that you be doing. Pardon my French. And America is full of that. It's full of lies. It's full of deceit. It's full of all right. So now we go ahead and get into the article because it's going to get into that. It says revelations that America engaged in surveillance on Denmark should come as no surprise. It has consistently spied on its allies, and its efforts to vilify Hawaii are simply an attempt to create a smokescreen. So what they're saying is, um, they're trying to point out Hawaii for being uh, for being a spy agency for China, when really they're the ones that's the problem. They're the ones that you should be actually looking at. It says Denmark's public broadcaster DK has revealed, citing anonymous sources, that the NSA cooperated with the country's intelligence service in spying on the Danish ministries of finance and foreign affairs. The purpose was to gather information on Denmark's fighter jet acquisition program, with Washington aiming to secure Copenhagen's procurement of Lockheed Martin's F-35s at the expense of the European defense firms. So basically, Denmark they wanted to buy some F-35 fighter planes, okay? And Washington wanted to know what they were buying, when they were buying them, how much they were paying for them, all of this. They wanted to get all that information so that they can basically come in at the last minute and buy them all up and swoop them up so that they couldn't buy any. Which, because America already has the biggest uh, military budget in the world. And Biden said that, from what he's been told, they're going to have to raise it up even more. So, why is that even necessary? You already have more than everyone else by exponentially a greater amounts. So why do you have to spy on this little country in Europe, your ally, your homie, someone that you're bound to protect, and take their security from them? So to read on, it says the story, while covered in Denmark and the Netherlands, was largely ignored in English-speaking international media. I guarantee you, no one in America heard about this. I just heard about this. If you're not reading RT, if you're not tuned into the geographical world, the world news, or the geopolitical um, daily updates, then you wouldn't know about this. And that's how, and a lot of what America does, all the bad stuff, your everyday Americans, they don't know about it. But those other countries, they know about it because they're the ones who's getting it done to them. It's all over their media. Anyone in the Middle East can tell you what America is known for. But from the inside looking out from America, you have these so-called patriots walking around like we're the best thing on earth, and nobody can touch us, nobody can beat with us. America has the feel of white privilege because America feels like it's better than everyone else, and it can't see no one else's plight. They don't understand. Just like a white man can't understand what it is to be a so-called Negro or a black man. America can't seem to figure out what it's like to be a third world country, so they can't empathize with those people. They look on them with sympathy, or oh my God, they're going through. But when we go over and fuck that country over, nobody's saying nothing against it because they have that America privilege, that white privilege. But continuing the story, it says the espionage scandal comes at a time when Washington is aggressively pushing the idea of clean network, demanding that European countries exclude the Chinese firm Huawei from their telecommunications networks amid allegations of that it's an espionage risk. So they're going around pumping, "Don't mess with Huawei. Don't mess with Huawei. All you European countries do not um, have relations with this company because it's a spy risk, basically." But at the same time, you're telling them not to mess with this guy. He's a spy risk, and they're spying on you. You know what kind of stuff is that? That's And matter of fact, that's going to bring us to our next precept, um, which is Sirach 28. I'm gonna start at the 13th verses as "Curse the whisper and the double tongue, for such have destroyed many that were at peace." They're being double tongued. They're talking out both sides of their neck. Okay, you can't. You're being a hypocrite. You can't say don't mess with him. He's spying on you, and then actually start spying on that person as well. And America's been known for this. And like I said, all of America's dirt is out there. It's just not coming back to them, to the U.S. because number one of that white privilege that America has as a country. Okay, so if it did come back, they wouldn't believe it, or if it did come back, they we're just doing that to secure our borders and it's for the good of the people. Well, when they say peace and safety, sudden destruction come upon them, and that's the story of the U.S. Peace and safety, peace and safety, peace and safety. Okay, it says a backbiting tongue have disquieted many and have driven them from nation to nation. Strong cities have it pulled down and overthrown the houses of great men. And that's the power of America, because America will fund both sides. It'll um it'll it'll be a conflict within a country, and they'll publicly back the military, but then privately fund the rebels, and then end up putting their candidate in that they wanted to support. That's what America's about. That's what the elites are about. They play both sides so that they control the outcome, and they allow you to think that you are um that you're in charge of the outcome when really it was in their hands the whole time. Because say they want side B to win and not side A, well, we're gonna help side A. We'll give them let's say we give them $1 billion worth of uh equipment. Well, I want side B to win, so I'm gonna give them $5 billion worth of equipment, and now you outgunned. So, what's the next verse? It says, "A backbiting tongue have cast out virtuous women and deprived them of their labors. Whoso hearkeneth unto it shall never find rest and shall never dwell quietly." And there's never going to be rest in this place, man. It's pure destruction coming to America, okay? Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Those missiles are going to rain down on this place. It's going to take this place out, all right? It's going to leave neither root nor branch, all right? All the elements are going to melt with fervent heat, all right? And it's going to be a barren wasteland for doleful spirits and birds. That's the that's what's coming to America. That's the vision that was written, and the vision that's going to be made manifest. Let me get the rest of this article and we'll close it. says, however, that isn't what's happening here. The clean network isn't really clean at all, and the threat to European countries lies far closer to home than Beijing. The U.S. has a long, well-established history of utilizing its intelligence agreements to spy on European countries for commercial reasons, not least when it comes to the bidding of the military-industrial complex. Yet, instead of being concerned about this, the public and media have lost themselves in hysteria about a single company, Huawei, who allegedly complicity in espionage has never been proven. So it's never even been proven, or they're at least the Chinese are good enough to not get caught, is what it's saying, if they are spying. But America is sloppy. It's well known that you do this, and then now you're doing this to try to outbid another country. It says, what is the military industrial complex? The term refers to an uh, oligarchy of American uh, multinational aerospace and defense contractors, which constitute the backbone of the U.S. military, such as Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Raytheon, to name a few. These companies exert a disproportionate influence over American policies in order to uphold their enormous profit margins. So these are all companies that make different weapons tech. You know, the new planes, the new AR-15s, the new guns, the new wave of weapons that's coming in are made by these companies, as well as mercenaries and things of that nature as well. They employ a number of strategies to do so, which include the funding of think tanks that actively promote aggressive and military-led foreign policies, such as Central for Strategic and International Studies. But more alarmingly, their representatives and lobbyists are immersed within Washington, D.C. itself. So basically what it's saying is these are the guys who are behind the think tanks. These are the guys who help with doing exactly what I said before, with funding both sides. So if America wants to up in Egypt like it did, okay, well, we're gonna send in Lockheed Martin. We're gonna pay for Lockheed Martin to give Egypt, you know, $200 million worth of goods, $200 million worth of armor or ammo, should I say? But we really want these rebels to win, so we're gonna give them 400,000 or 400 million worth of ammo and armor and whatnot, and let's let them go to war and kill themselves. We don't really care about that, but at the end of the day, we're gonna get the outcome that we really want. That's really all I'm gonna get. The link will be in the description if you have any other questions or want to keep reading. But that is the way of America. Okay, to be double tongued, to be a deceiver, and to fight both sides. And with that being said, we give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Kadash, the honors and apostles and elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners sharing the truth and the sincerity and women who follow. Shalom.